Hey everyone, this is Heidi from the blog Hands Occupied with another knitting tutorial for you today. In this video, I'm going to show you how to work the Seafoam stitch, which is really just a combination of drop stitches and garter stitch. Worked over a multiple of 10 stitches plus 6, the Seafoam stitch is a really fun one. So I've got my multiple of 10 stitches plus 6 cast on, so I'm doing just 16 to demonstrate in this video. And I worked 4 rows of garter stitch, so that's knitting all the way across both right side and wrong side rows. Next, we are going to work our first row with yarn overs to form the drop stitches for the Seafoam stitch. So we're going to knit 6 before we get to the yarn overs. So there's knit 3, 4, 5, and 6. Next, we're going to yarn over, knit 1. Then we're going to yarn over twice and knit 1. And now we're going to yarn over 3 times. 1, 2, 3, knit 1, and now we're going to go back the other direction and do yarn over twice, knit once, yarn over once, and knit once. And now there's 5 more stitches on our row that we will knit all the way across. 4 and 5. Next, so once we've done our row with our yarn over wraps, we're going to turn to the other side, and this is probably the second most exciting row to work in this stitch after the yarn over row. So we're going to knit all the stitches that we knit last time, and we're going to drop all the yarn overs that we added last time. So we're going to knit 6 before we come to the first yarn over to drop. So there's 6 stitches, and now there's that first yarn over. All we've got to do is flick it off the end of our needle, and then we're going to knit the next knit stitch, and we've come to the double wraps. We'll flick that off, then a knit stitch, and then we can flick off the triple, the 3 yarn overs, and then we'll knit the next stitch, dropping the yarn overs, knit 1, and we'll drop the last yarn over before finishing the row by knitting all the way across. And now if we look at our work at the end of the row, what we can see after we pull on the cast on end is we've got these elongated stitches. So in our swatch, you can see those elongated stitches in context, so to speak, where we've got these yawns, these openings of drop stitches that are kind of eye-shaped or oval-shaped, and they stagger as they line up to form this beautiful Seafoam stitch that you can see right here. So let me show you what we do in between drop stitch rows to get this pattern to work. And all that involves is knitting all the way across. Follow your pattern. Different patterns that use this Seafoam stitch will play with the number of garter stitch rows in between drop stitch rows. But for demonstration's sake, I'm just going to do 1 all the way across. And what that garter stitch row does is help reinforce the structure around those drop stitches, because those drop stitches by their very nature are going to be really loose, and framing them with garter stitch and sometimes other stitches depending on what your pattern calls for, framing the drop stitches with other stitches is a great way to give your piece a little bit more structural integrity. So there we have knit all the way across. And now we'll pretend, for the sake of time, that we've done more than just the 1 garter stitch, and we're ready to do another drop stitch row. So this other drop stitch row is worth demonstrating because the placement of the drop stitches is a little different on staggered rows. And so they're worked just the same as the first set of drop stitches, but the placement is a little different. So you'll notice that we had on this swatch, which we had, I did 26 stitches on, there were 3 sets of drop stitches in this drop stitch row, and then 2 on this one, placed in between the other 3 in kind of a checkerboard staggered pattern. So for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to start with a knit 1 and then go right into that drop stitch repeat. So knit 1 and then yarn over once, knit, yarn over twice, knit, yarn over 3 times, knit, and then back to yarn over twice, knit, yarn over once, and knit, like so. Now we're going to knit across those drop stitches from last time. So we're going to do just some plain knitting. So to recap, we did knit 1 and then the yarn over and knit 1s. And then when we got to the last yarn over, we switched to knitting 6 across those drop stitches from last time. Now we're going to finish up with another set of drop stitches. So we're going to be on the last 5 stitches for this. And we're going to yarn over, knit 1, yarn over twice, knit 1, yarn over 3 times, knit 1, yarn over 2 times, knit once, yarn over, and end on a knit 1, like so. And now, since I've already shown you how to drop the stitches off your needle, let's just finish up by taking one last look at our swatch right here so you guys can see the placement of those staggered seafoam drop stitches. The seafoam stitch would be right at home in shawls, cowls, wraps, and more. If you have any questions for us, don't hesitate to reach out in the comments, and tune in again soon for even more knitting tutorials.